Charles Schwab had a mill manager whose people weren't producing their quota of work. How is it, Schwab asked him, that a manager as capable as you can't make this mill turn out what it should? I don't know, the manager replied. I've coached the men, I've pushed them, I've sworn and cussed, I've threatened them with damnation, being fired, but nothing works. They just won't produce. This conversation took place at the end of the day, just before the night shift came in. Schwab asked the manager for a piece of chalk, then turning to the nearest man, asked, how many heats did your shift make today? 6. Without another word, Schwab chalked a big figure 6 on the floor and walked away. When the night shift came in, they saw the 6 and asked what it meant. The big boss was in here today, the day people said. He asked us how many heats we made, and we told him 6. He chalked it down on the floor. The next morning, Schwab walked through the mill again.
Success isn't just about money. It's about winning in every area of life. Welcome to the Larry Holsey Podcast, where we dive into leadership, business, personal growth, investing, and family, so you can prosper the way God intended. I'm Larry Holsey, and each episode will bring you the wisdom, strategies, and motivation to help you level up in every part of your life. So if you're ready to grow, lead, and succeed, let's get started.
Okay, what? Sorry, you read that.
All right. So wouldn't you like to have a magic phrase that would stop arguments, eliminate ill feeling, create goodwill, and make the other person listen attentively? Yes. All right, here it is. I don't blame you one iota for feeling as you do. If I were you, I would undoubtedly feel just as you do. You get that? What do you? It's putting yourself in their position. It's like, hey, if I were you, I would feel exactly the same way. So people want their feelings validated. So this is like validating their feelings. You didn't highlight very much. You got lazy on your highlighting the last few chapters.
Just in chapter 9. In chapter 8, I did good. Chapter 7, I did good. Chapter 6, I did good.
I don't know. I think you were getting tired. Okay, so principle 9 is
Be simple.
So if you want to win people to your way of thinking, put in practice.
Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires.
Okay.
That's good. True. And appeal that everybody likes. Second 10.
Okay.
You may be right. Nothing will work in all cases, and nothing will work with all people. If you are satisfied with the results you are not getting, why change? If you are not satisfied, why not experiment?
At any rate, I think you will enjoy reading this true story told by James L. Thomas, a former student of mine. Okay, let's read it. 6 customers of a certain automobile company refused to pay their bills for servicing. None of the customers protested the entire bill, but each claimed that some one charge was wrong. In each case, the customer had signed for the work done, so the company knew it was right and said so. That was the first mistake. Here are the steps the men in the credit department took to collect these overdue bills. Do you suppose they succeeded? 1, they called on each customer and told them bluntly that they had come to collect a bill that was long past due. 2, they made it very plain that the company was absolutely and unconditionally right. Therefore, he, the customer, was absolutely and unconditionally wrong. 3, they intimated that they, the company, knew more about automobiles than he could ever hope to know. So what was the argument about? 4, result. They argued. Did any of these methods reconcile the customer and settle the account? Kind of weird. Yeah, so it probably didn't give any results. At this stage of affairs, the credit manager was about to open fire with a battery of legal talent when fortunately the matter came to the attention of the general manager. The manager investigated these defaulting clients and discovered that they all had the reputation of paying their bills promptly. Something was wrong here. Something was drastically wrong about the method of collection. So he called in James L. Thomas and told him to collect these uncollectible accounts. Here in his words are the steps Mr. Thomas took. Okay, here it is. Number 1, my visit to each customer was likewise to collect a bill long past due. A bill that we knew was absolutely right. But I didn't say a word about that. I explained I had called to find out what it was the company had done or failed to do. 2, I made it clear that until I heard the customer's story, I had no opinion to offer. I told him the company made no claims to being infallible. In other words, we could be wrong. Number 3, I told him I was interested only in his car and that he knew more about his car than anyone else in the world, that he was the authority on the subject. Number 4, I let him talk and I listened to him with all the interest and sympathy that he wanted and had expected. 5, finally, when the customer was in a reasonable mood, I put the whole thing up to his sense of fair play. I appealed to the nobler motives. First, I said, I want you to know I also feel this matter has been badly mishandled. You've been inconvenienced and annoyed and irritated by one of our representatives. That should never have happened. I'm sorry, and as a rep of this company, I apologize. As I sat here and listened to your side of the story, I could not help being impressed by your fairness and patience. And now, because you are fair-minded and patient, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. It's something that you can do better than anyone else, something you know more about than anyone else. Here's your bill. I know it is safe for me to ask you to adjust it, just as you would do if you were the president of my company. I'm going to leave it all up to you. Whatever you say goes. Did he adjust the bill? He certainly did and got quite a kick out of it. The bills range from $150 to $400, but did the customer give himself the best of it? Yes, one of them did. One of them refused to pay a penny of the disputed charge, but the other 5 all gave the company the best of it. And here's the cream of the whole thing. We delivered new cars to all 6 of these customers within the next 2 years. So he had a much better approach. So experience has taught me, says Mr. Thomas, that when no information can be secured about the customer, the only sound basis on which to proceed is to assume that he or she is sincere, honest, truthful, and willing and anxious to pay the charges once convinced they are correct. To put it differently and perhaps more clearly, people are honest and want to discharge their obligations. The exceptions to that rule are comparatively few, and I'm convinced that the individuals who are inclined to chisel will in most cases react favorably if you make them feel that you consider them honest, upright, and fair. Principle 10, appeal to the nobler motives. You know what that means? Not really. It means let people know that you think that they're honorable. And if you let them know that you think they're honorable, if you have a disagreement and you need them to do something, let them know you think they're honorable and that they'll make the right decision and make them feel honorable. And then they'll tend to live up to those expectations in most cases. Okay, so that was Principle 10, appeal to the nobler motives. Chapter 11.
The movies do it, TV does it, why don't you do it? Is chapter 11.
What is it? If you read like the first paragraph, it usually tells a little bit about what the...
Many years ago, the Philadelphia Evening Bulletin was being
maligned
by a dangerous whispering campaign. A malicious rumor was being circulated. Advisors were being told that the newspaper was no longer attractive to readers because it carried too much advertising and too little news. Immediate action was necessary. The gossip had to be squelched. But how? This is the way it was done.
Keep going. How was it done?
The bulletin shipped from its regular edition all reading matter of all kinds of one average day, classified it and published it as a book. The book was called One Day. It contained 307 pages, as many as a hardcover book. Yet the bulletin had printed all this news and feature material on one day and sold it, not for several dollars, but for a few cents. The printing of that book dramatized the fact that the bulletin carried an enormous amount of interesting reading matter. It conveyed the facts more vividly, more interesting, more impressively than pages of figures and mere talk could have done.
This is the day of dramatization. Merely stating a truth isn't enough. The truth has to be made vivid, interesting, dramatic. You have to use showmanship, man. The movies do it, television does it, and you will have to do it if you want attention. Man, this is more important than ever. In today's social media world, you have to tell a story and make it interesting. Okay, cool. So you got to dramatize. Sometimes you got to you are good at that. Dramatizing from the drama queen herself. Say it louder for the people in the back. The drama queen herself.
Number 30. Number 30.
All right. I was presenting the same facts this time that I had presented previously, but this time I was using dramatization, showmanship, and what a difference it made. Dramatize your ideas. Oh my goodness. You already got this down. High five for the dramatization. You're not? No high fives for that. Okay. We're going to have to get our energy up. We've been doing this for 2 hours. We got to deliver the goods. These people want us to deliver the goods. We can't give them a lame.
I was so energetic at the beginning.
You know how you have energy? Sit up like you have the most energy ever. Look up. Smile. Okay. All right. Set your body up. Sit up straight. Come on. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
When nothing else works, try this.
All right. What do we try? Charles Schwab had a mill manager whose people weren't producing their quota of work. How is it, Schwab asked him, that a manager as capable as you can't make this mill turn out what it should? I don't know, the manager replied. I've coaxed them in, I've pushed them, I've sworn and cussed, I've threatened them with damnation and being fired, but nothing works. They just won't produce. This conversation took place at the end of the day, just before the night shift came in. Schwab asked the manager for a piece of chalk, then turning to the nearest man, asked, how many heats did your shift make today? 6. Without another word, Schwab chalked a big figure 6 on the floor and walked away. When the night shift came in, they saw the 6 and asked what it meant. The big boss was in here today, the day people said. He asked us how many heats we made, and we told him 6. He chalked it down on the floor. The next morning, Schwab walked through the mill again. The night shift had rubbed out 6 and replaced it with a big 7. When the day shift reported for work the next morning, 6, 7. Oh my goodness. Say it louder for the people in the back. 6, 7.
2.
All right. So the night shift thought they were better than the day shift, did they? Well, they would show the night shift a thing or two. The crew pitched in with enthusiasm, and when they quit that night, they left behind them an enormous, swaggering tent. Things were stepping up. Surely this mill, which had been lagging way behind in production, was turning out more work than any other mill in the plant. The principal, man, this is so good. I could just read this whole book to you. You want me to read the book to you? You think they want to hear us read the book? I don't know, but that's really good. Okay, great. So principle 12 is throw down a challenge. Throw down a challenge, okay? So in a nutshell, win people to your way of thinking. Principles, you don't have to, I know you didn't memorize all these. All right, read them with some enthusiasm. Principle 1.
The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it.
Yes. Principle 2.
Show respect for the other person's opinions and never say you're wrong.
Your quotes, you're wrong. Principle 3.
If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically.
Principle 4.
Begin in a friendly way.
Principle 5.
Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. That's my favorite chapter, and I literally missed it.
Principle 6.
I'll let the other person do a great deal of talking.
Principle 7.
Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers.
Principle 8.
Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view.
Principle 9.
Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires.
Yes. Principle 10.
Appeal to the nobler motives.
Principle 11.
Dramatize your ideas.
Your best skill. Dramatize your ideas. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. That's awesome.
Part 4.
Hold on.
Later.
Why don't we finish part 4 tomorrow? We'll keep it in the same video, but you good? All right.
See you tomorrow.
Hey.
That's a wrap for today. If you got value from this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a show. And if this message resonated with you, share it with a friend and connect with me on social media. I'm at Larry Holsey, and I'd love to hear how you're applying these lessons in your own journey. So remember, success is more than just one area of life. You want to keep growing, keep leading, and keep prospering the way God intended. We'll see you next time.